Welcome to the studio. Today I'm going to play catch up a little bit on just a little bit of an update of what's been going on. Been really busy with design work and other projects not art related, so I didn't finish any artwork in the last week or so. So this video is really going to be, I wouldn't call it a tour, maybe a mini tour. I'm just going to go through the studio and share. What am I going to do? I'm gonna go through the studio and I'm going to talk about some of the projects that I have in the works and show you guys what I have going on and in various states of completion. Yeah, so let's take a look. So in no particular order, I'm probably going to touch on the Faces painting series that I've been doing. This crazy cosmic nonsense that's been on hold for a good long time. We're going to look at this commission that I have going on over here. And finally, I'll probably hit on this big old bird painting that's been in the works for a good bit. So let's start here with the Faces. So the Faces paintings, if you haven't seen the video, you might have seen it. But if you haven't, go check it out. Talking about why I do abstract faces and what's so interesting about these to me. So what I've been doing lately is really, I've done a lot of these in the past that were very colorful. They were kind of crazy colors, very almost garish colors. And I've started to really experiment with more monotone palettes, more simple, like the Zorn palette, very limited. And I'm having a lot of fun with that, kind of enjoying where that's going. So there's a lot more here that I'm going to do. I have like some ideas for doing, some black and white ones, some more in these greens and gray ranges, maybe some brown ones, and maybe even combining, some of these really stark sort of contrasting palettes. Is that the way to say that? Yeah, so I've got a lot of experimenting I want to do with those. This thing here is crazy and it's taking forever, and I haven't even really started. I've probably put 8 hours worth of work into it at this point, just in the painting, and I know it may not look like it, but it's very tedious. It's part of a practice painting that I did for a little tiny piece of this. It's an illustration I did a long time ago that I took and flipped and replicated the illustration and flipped it in multiple ways in the computer and ended up with this much larger image. And I'm taking a printout, like tiles of that illustration, and transferring it to this canvas sort of one section at a time. And I think originally I planned to make it look sort of like the original illustration, but I'm not sure yet. I'm going to finish it. It's going to take forever, but once I get all of the image transferred onto the canvas, I think I'll go back then and maybe the first pass will look like this, but I might end up building up texture and changing it. We'll see. Cool. So what else? These are just a pile of random things that I have going on. Most of these are experiments, smaller paintings, cleaning off my palette knife, just, seeing what else I can come up with without really thinking too much. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there. This over here is a commission that I'm working on that I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be really fun. I'm doing it on a wood panel, and hopefully I'll finish that up next week and I'll get a video out showing that entire process. But essentially it's going to be some birds like these. I did this in Illustrator just to get a rough layout and sort of create some color shapes that I'm going to follow. We'll see how far how strict I stick to what I've created here. But this was a practice study that I did, just trying to play with texture, and I'm trying to find that balance between realism and abstract. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm having fun with it so far. I really like the colors. I think I'm gonna do like a mint green and white for the background, and then the cardinals will be brown and red. What else is going on? So this painting here, this painting has evolved quite a bit. I'm hoping that some of the details will come through in this video. The lighting in here is not that great. This was the original illustration. I actually I have the original sketch, so I'll show you that. So the original sketch, maybe I'll do a sketchbook tour at some point. That might be interesting once I get this thing full. So the original sketch was this, and I redrew these in the computer. And then I moved them around and changed the colors and changed the sizes, and I ended up with this little layout here, which I then used a doodle grid to scale up to the larger canvas. And originally, when I started with this thing, I had intended to make it really colorful. And again, kind of what I was doing with my faces originally and this kind of thing, I was going really crazy with these colors. But through that process, I started, I don't know, for whatever reason, I guess because I was playing with the Zorn palette, I started toning them down quite a bit. And it's interesting to me because with a lot of my paintings, I start out, it's a very instinctual process. I'm just thinking about doing something that's pleasing aesthetically and fun to look at. And I think what inevitably happens is that some of my subconscious, themes and thoughts and ideas start to seep their way into the work, sort of weave their way into the work. So I'm starting to recognize some things in this that I think are interesting. One, all the birds are grounded. They're all on the ground. They're not flying, right? And although they were really colorful, and you can see hints of color, they're very it's like understated, right? They're being covered and muted, so their true colors aren't really showing through. So that's all interesting to me. They're also all going sort of in different directions, very chaotic, very distracted. And, I don't know what all that exactly means. I think that there is this idea, like I know for a fact, I scratch into the paint a lot, one for effect, but also because I know I have this, this idea that the birds are in cages and they want to break free. And so the lines in the background are sort of meant to mimic cages. And the other thing that I know for sure that I put in here sort of intentionally is these windows. So they may not look like windows. They're like abstract, right? They're abstract shapes, but they're meant to be windows. And the reason I did that is because I recall as a kid quite often sitting in rooms, schools, churches, stores, wherever, especially when I was younger, and just being completely bored out of my mind and, daydreaming, looking out the window and seeing this blue sky, the blue patch of sky out the window, and just thinking about all the fun there was to be had outside. And so that's a very strange and abstract expression of that concept. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to go with this next. I think that I'm enjoying building up texture. I'm enjoying letting it evolve. One thing is, I find myself after working on this for a while, I'll get really excited and I'll think, this is really cool. This looks awesome. I'm very happy it's done. And then, 30 minutes later, I'll look at it again and I can go from being really happy about where I am and thinking it's finished to seeing, flaws and mistakes or not even mistakes, just not being happy with it at all and thinking, okay, it's got a long way to go. And I might even potentially paint over the whole thing, So I'm going to keep working it. I'm just going to keep working it, keep building up texture, keep playing. Yeah, I'm going to keep working on it and just see where it goes. And I'd love to know any thoughts you guys have on any of this stuff. If any of it's interesting to you, if there's stuff that you think I should do more of. This is interesting. I found this canvas beside the road. It was damaged and someone had painted it. I painted over it, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just thought it was, a waste to let it sit there by the road and not be used. So anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I'd love to hear your comments on any of this stuff. What you think's working, what you think's not working, what you'd like to see more of, less of. I don't care. Just let me know. So I hope this is interesting to you. I guess let me know if you like this type of video too. Maybe I can do more of those in the future. I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out, So later.